Whew, what are you trying to do? Give me a heart attack?
You do have a heart.
A nitty-bitty one.
But it is there.
Can you quit with the hocus pocus already?
Look at him. Would it kill you to do something nice for him?
Possibly. I don't do nice.
Oh, come on. It'll be fun.
I don't do fun either.
We have to get Elle and the princess back together.
Look, I definitely don't do mushy stuff. It's not me.
I know, but it's going to be tricky.
Tricky is good. Tricky I can do.
It's extras and epilogues. Open the theater. Lights, cameras, action. Movies and reviews, things you might not have known. What happens when the credits roll? Let's get on with the show.
Jafar comes for revenge on Aladdin using a foolish thief and Iago's treachery to find a way back into power. And I have some questions about his plan. Ladies and gentlemen, the theater is open once again. Welcome back to Extras and Epilogues on the Podzilla 1985 network. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host. We've said goodbye to back to school. Get the hell out of here, you schmucks. And now we decided, last month was so good. How can we fuck it up?
We had it too good.
We had it too good. It's like Paul Mooney said, you can't have too much because then they'll come for you. They came for us. And tonight we're kicking off Wake Me Up When Sequel September Ends. I love that title.
I really do. It's so good. Last year we did our very first Sequel September, which I believe, again, was a Derek Bosdorfer suggestion, and it was a great suggestion.
Yeah.
We were starting to theme our months, and we had a whole bunch of options for September. SNL September, Superhero September. We had a bunch of options. And Derek was like, why not do sequels? Sequels to stuff you guys have already watched. Great. And we had a pretty good Sequel September last year.
Yeah.
All things considered, I mean, we covered what? Rocky 2. We covered Terminator 2. Second Turtles movie. They can't all be winners.
Oh, well, but if you thought that was bad. Hey.
Yeah. So, yeah, August went very well for us. We intentionally decided that September wouldn't.
Yeah, we decided to punish ourselves a little bit because as we head into the October season, and as a lot of people know, if you've been following this podcast for years, which hopefully you have, or if you're new to it, I will tell you, October is our month to shine. It's always the best month on the show. We do a lot of cool stuff, and we're right around the spooky corner. So before we have too much fun, we had to ground ourselves and decide to punish ourselves. And tonight we're kicking off that punishment with what I've been told is one of Lindsay's actual nightmares. It is the return of Jafar. It is the sequel to Aladdin. And here to share in this joyous, momentous, splendiferous occasion, first off, is Double H.
It does it. All reports are in. Life is officially unfair.
Life is unfair.
I didn't even make that connection.
And someone who... this time in March, we'll be going, the Phantom of the Opera is there. It's Lindsay Wolfgang.
I mean, all three of us will be doing that, but
yeah, but she'll be doing it out loud.
I need to know, how the hell did sales on this video do well enough to make them continue to do more direct-to-video sequels of their properties?
Well, Hunter, it sounds like she hit you with the first, one of the first trivias.
She's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's getting there, and it's on the list. There's an awful lot of that kind of stuff going around here. It is indeed Disney's first direct-to-video sequel, Return of Jafar. Again, for all intents and purposes, it is basically the pilot episode of what would be Disney Channel's Aladdin animated series. So you can see where the commercial breaks are. You can tell where this is going from the moment it starts, when you know what to look for.
Apparently this was, I don't know if they had this planned out or what, but from what I read, this was the first 5 episodes of the TV show they condensed into a movie. And the last time we had a similar situation on the show was when we reviewed the Star Wars Clone Wars film.
Yes.
Which was awful. Which was is hands
real
down
bad.
I think we all agreed, like no matter what you think of the prequels or the sequels, that is the worst Star Wars film. It's the one thing that brought us all together.
Yeah. I've never seen the holiday special. I know it's kind of a joke. I feel like it's No, I feel like it's kind of like when you talk about like a Neil Breen. Like, going into that it's bad.
Yeah.
And at this point, you don't expect it to be good. Clone Wars, I at least thought was, okay, there's got to be something here, right?
The TV series is good.
Right. Yeah.
It
so
movie's
bad.
not.
And
The movie's
this
real
is
bad.
similar.
So bad. Will this movie suffer the same fate? Well, we're gonna find out tonight. But before we do, I have my wine. That's for the depression. Hold on.
That's the medicine.
I have Sour Patch Kid strawberries. A different kind of gummy.
And I have tea.
We didn't
green tea.
We didn't do a no turning back on Monday. I said it was because of Labor Day. It's because I couldn't labor myself to do it. Because
That's fair.
anyone that knows me knows that I have a very tenuous grasp on reality and happiness, and I have slipped free of it this week. It's been a particularly bad week for me. I'm trying to get back in the mood and not kill myself. Here's something that everyone can enjoy. After we reviewed Clueless 2 weeks ago, it's we saw this at Walmart and I picked it up. It's the Cher. Oh God, there we go. It's the Cher Clueless pop.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
In her
I didn't realize
iconic-
she actually has the as if
yeah,
voice bubble.
as-
I thought
yeah.
it was just on the box.
No, it's above her, as if. Yeah, she's in her iconic yellow and
cool.
black plaid. I love that outfit, and I love that. That's a good pop. I don't buy pops usually. Usually, if I buy pops, it's either video game related or like Godzilla. But I saw that. Lindsay saw it actually, and I was like, yeah, I got to have that. All right, let's talk about Aladdin. Let's get into this because you guys may remember we reviewed the first Aladdin film in it was April, right? Animation April.
Girl.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it got 2 thumbs up across the board, except for me. I'm pretty sure I gave it 1 thumb up because I never really loved the animated Aladdin. I'm more of a fan of the live action one. And this is a conversation, half joking, half serious, that Hunter and I have had over the years. So I was curious to see how I would react to this film. I've never watched this film. I have watched the animated TV series, and I remember liking it, although I preferred Hercules, if I can be honest with you. So
He's got the same treatment as this.
but how did this one fare? Let's find out. Here's some stats. Release May 20th, 1994, direct to VHS, as we said before. Was DVD around at this time? It was still
No,
VHS.
not
right?
yet. It was still just VHS.
No, yeah.
Well,
And
My
for
for
best
the
friend
record,
had it the week it came out, and I was very disappointed then.
the original movie came out November 25th of 1992.
And
So
then
this
the-
was
And the sequel
year and a
is
half.
in 96. The Return of the King or whatever.
yes, The Return of the King. Don't forget about Aladdin and the Two Towers and
Aladdin of the Two Towers. I don't know why I like that one. That's a 9/11 prequel. Ooh.
Oh no!
Oh God! Oh God! That just hit me more.
Yeah,
Oh.
you heard it. You heard it in the aftermath, didn't you? The backbite got you.
Oh boy!
It had an aftertaste.
I regret that one. You can't kill me. I'll take care of the job myself. All right. Directed by Tad Stones, which is a fake name, and Alan Zaslov, which I think is a fake name too.
But
Zaslav-
look what they worked on.
Is it both of them? They both did the others?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty incredible. So they also did my personal favorite animated show when I was a kid, Darkwing Duck, The Duck Knight Returns, and they also did Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I want to apologize once more for the Aladdin and the Two Towers joke. That
was
one's
pretty
really
bad.
that one's really bothering me. I'm going to be honest. I'm not proud of that, and I didn't
Well,
draw the lines between them until after the fact.
I was going to say, I'm going to go ahead and confirm for the listener that I watched the realization bloom in his eyes like a full 5 seconds after he
It
said
was
it.
bad. It's so bad. Okay, this film was written by, take a deep breath, Woosah, Kevin Campbell, Meredith J.S. Kalau, Bill Motz, Steve Roberts, Dev Ross, Jesus Christ, Bob Roth, is that really Stranad?
Yes, I thought I misspelled it. I looked it up. I was right. It's Stranad.
Ooh, and Brian Swinland. Most also worked on Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
So I'm assuming since this was supposed to be episodic, it was kind of
Probably.
split up amongst.
Yep. Yeah, the movie makes no distinction about who wrote what sections, but yeah, given that it was
Lord.
multiple episodes of the show, my guess is that, yeah, there were a couple of writing teams in there, and they handled this stuff kind of by committee.
Well, which one wrote for Jasmine? Because they need to never work in this
It was
town again.
bad.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, we'll
I mean,
get
she
to
gets
that.
better in the
Oh, boy.
animated series, but my God.
Yeah, so to go for, or again, not to draw parallels to the live action Aladdin movie or even the original Aladdin animated film, but both of those films presented her as such a stronger female character. And this one, literally all she does is run away crying in some very terrible animation when she thought her boyfriend betrayed her. And then she also cried at another thing. I don't know. Maybe she heard my joke about Aladdin and the Two Towers and it got to her. I don't know. Well, we'll get back to that. Not the Aladdin thing. Well, the movie. Starring Jonathan Freeman, who is Jafar, if I remember correctly. Was he
returning as Jafar?
Okay, well,
yes. Yep.
We all need to make money. Scott Winger, who you may remember
returning
from
as Aladdin.
He's the guy from Full House, right?
Full House.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's DJ's boyfriend.
Yeah. Gilbert Gottfried.
One of the most notable one.
Gilbert Gottfried, who really should have won an award for this film. The award of thanks for saving it.
It's not in the trivia, but this movie was at one point in time titled Iago Returns, not The Return of Jafar. And that makes a lot of sense.
So much better.
He is the protagonist.
Yeah.
But the thing is, nobody's buying movies with Iago on the cover.
Except
right?
us.
Well, yeah, but not then.
Yeah.
Not then. You needed to know that Jafar was still looming out there.
It has a runtime of... Okay, well, why is it that Jafar...
Well, hang on. You missed a key cast member there. That's Jason Alexander.
Oh, sorry.
Jason Alexander is one of the newest people to this.
Yes,
He's the only,
plays...
not the only, but...
He plays Abismal.
Abismal, which I literally put in the trivia because I felt like I had to. In case you missed it, Abismal is a play on the word abysmal because he's bad.
It took me. This is one of the few times I got the joke immediately. It took me hearing his name twice to go, oh, it's Abysmal. I get it.
See, when I was a kid, I didn't get it at all. It took years later that I was like, oh, okay, when I see it like spelled out. Yeah, Jason Alexander, famously George Costanza from Seinfeld.
Yeah,
actually a really good voice actor.
Yeah, he's good.
He's
also
Duckman.
Hugo.
He's Duckman.
In Hunchback.
Yeah, he's Duckman. He's Hugo. I completely forgot about that.
More importantly, he's Duckman. That's a private dick / family guy.
Yes, Duckman is a very good show if you've never seen it. I don't know that anymore. It might be terrible. I haven't seen it in years, but I liked it when I was.
It was probably highly inappropriate for me to watch it when I watched it, but I remember watching it with my dad.
It wasn't. It was never a kids show. It's not that it aged poorly. It was never a kids show. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it was on USA's Up All Night. Like it was not meant.
But I also watched
for
Married with
kids.
Children with my dad. So.
Yeah,
somehow Duckman was worse.
All three of us.
Somehow Duckman was worse.
I should note too, usually Shannon's the one that goes into further casting, but I'm going to mention these are not the only people who return. Scott Winger, Jonathan Freeman, Linda Larkin is the voice of Jasmine. She was the voice of Jasmine in the original film.
I thought it was a different actress at first.
I'm sure Frank Welker was back to be a boo.
He was.
Yes. Yep.
And,
he was in fact back to be a boo. Yeah, there's an awful lot of that kind of thing that's going to keep coming back through here.
But of course, we didn't mention
Jim Cummings was in it again. Still,
sure, but Dan Castellaneta had to replace Robin Williams, who didn't come back for the sequel. And two things on that, and Hunter sent me a message. It was basically 3 thoughts he had on the film, and I said I literally said the exact same thoughts to Lindsay. And one of that is I felt bad for him, and I could not hear Homer Simpson in 50% of his dialogue.
At certain times.
Yeah. And I'll say this now, just in case I don't say it later, because we'll talk and I might forget. Not just because Dead Poet Society really changed my mind on Robin Williams, but I think this movie, at least in the animated universe of Aladdin, really shows why Robin Williams was such an iconic part of the first film.
They wouldn't have made the film without him.
As much as Dan Castellaneta tried, you can't replicate Robin Williams. You just can't.
I don't think he did a bad job, but he did a fine job. The same.
No,
and as a kid, I remember being extremely disappointed when Genie wasn't Genie.
Well, and a couple of things to that I mentioned. We're going to burn through the trivia on this one because it comes up really quickly. Number one, yes, Robin Williams refused to reprise his role, but he was the one of the people who helped select Dan Castellaneta. He was in part of that choice, that decision making. I think he put his name up there as a good option to begin with. So at the very least, he kind of put his stamp of approval on him. I also did appreciate more now, because I haven't seen this movie in years. I'd seen it before, but this is the first time in a really long time. I do appreciate that where the original movie gives us a lot of Robin Williams isms, for the genie. A lot of the stuff that he did in his stand up and everything, they do some of that here too. There's a very clear crusty laugh when he does the Jack in the Box. He sounds like vaguely drunk at one point in time, and he definitely sounds like Barney. Yeah. So I do appreciate that there are some versions
little
of
nuances.
Yes, that fit the person it kind of makes it feel like, look, we know it's not the same guy, and there might be other versions of this down the line. When we bring somebody else in, we're going to cater the character to them. I know some people are not going to like that, but I think for a character like Genie, it's principal to who he is as a character. The voice behind them needs to drive the character and not the other way around.
I can't think of anyone else that could have played him other than Dan Castellaneta, especially at that time period, because this, as I told Lindsay, this is 5 years into The Simpsons.
Area.
Well, yeah, but still Simpsons is what I mean. Like, Simpsons was so big.
And I mentioned him specifically because I always think it's Hank Azaria and then remember it's Dan Castellaneta when you remind me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think anybody who was like a prolific voice actor at that time. Now you're not going to get like a John DiMaggio. Wasn't quite as
it wasn't big back then. But this was right during The Simpsons. This is, I guess, season 5 of The Simpsons. This is when The Simpsons is really taken off and really like
at its peak.
At its peak, Simpsons. So to get Dan, I know a lot of people look at Dan Castellaneta as like a downgrade from Robin Williams, and in some ways he is, only because Robin Williams is so closely tied to that character. If Dan
the character was generated around him, right, like Lindsay said, like it was, made around him.
But if Dan had originated the role, I think he would have been fine. Everyone would have been like, yeah, he was great in the role. But it's walking in Robin Williams' shadow that really cost him.
Sure. And it also doesn't hurt that, and this is something that we're going to probably talk about a lot over the course of the show, it doesn't hurt that the movie itself looks worse, which makes everything feel much more low rent. Like it feels like a knockoff. It starts feeling like you're watching a knockoff.
Because it was done by the Toon Studio rather than the regular studio.
2 of them, actually.
Well, goddamn, Lindsay, you want to save some trivia for later? Connor, go ahead.
No, that's it. This is all we got. Walt Disney Animation Australia did the first 34 minutes of the movie. So basically, by the time that Abyss Mall jumps over the palace walls, it switches over to Walt Disney Animation Japan and their support studios, and that's who handles the rest of the movie. Knowing what to look for, the thing that throws it, and the thing that you don't even have to watch the animation style change because it's a little bit nuanced. This is coming off of the Genie song about like having a friend. No, it's coming off of Iago's song about why Jasmine and Aladdin should stay together. In that whole sequence, Aladdin is in his like palace gear. He's in his like vizier look and all that.
Knocking shit down.
Even I heard that. Sorry.
And then when it switches after he jumps over the palace wall, we inexplicably cut back to that whole group where Aladdin is now in his like normal street rat clothes.
Yeah.
There was no time for him to change. Right. There was no time for him to change and no reason for him to change either. Jasmine is even still in like the night like gear that she was wearing, like the stuff she was wearing to dinner, which is not her normal appearance. Aladdin's the only one that changed. So there was one little hiccup in there. Also, I'm going to
watch it.
Yeah, no, of course not. I'm going to forget if I don't mention Jim Cummings isn't here. He is the voice of the lead. Yeah, Razul.
Because he was in the movie too.
Right. That character was not named in the movie. He only officially gets a name in this movie.
In this TV series.
Because I always thought
you can hear it because it's Razul. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim Cummings is also the voice of Pete, right? He's Pete.
Yes.
I can't fucking do Pete. But anyway, Pete sounds like Razul. They have the same kind of voice. So if you're thinking of the classic Disney Pete character, Pete with Goofy and all that, it's same dude.
I got to look something up real quick because it's going to drive me crazy.
Is it the Rashid thing?
Yeah, I wanted to see what he was named in the live action one, but I don't even. I think
I was going to say.
I don't know. I don't see a Rashid or Razul. I see a.
I think my brain
Jamal
was still on Gundam.
I think his name was Jamal in the because this looks like the guy. Huh.
It could be.
Oh yeah, Rashid's Magnacock or whatever. Yeah, we all remember that, you filthy bird. All right.
God. Also, apparently Maurice LaMarche was the voice of Genie Jafar. He's uncredited for that. Was it really different enough to warrant needing another person?
It
sounded like a filter.
Would they have done like an echo with it, maybe, like to give it? They blended.
I was going to say it sounded because I guess you wouldn't really have a filter at that time. It would have definitely been something specific, but
so they put more effort into his voice than in all of the animation. So good to know.
Oh my god!
Hey, no, we still got to get through some stats. Runtime of 69 minutes, which is we checked. It's nice, obviously.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Also, I think this might be the shortest movie we ever watched. It's this or The Point.
Or
The Point's not very long either.
No, the pretty sure The Point was longer.
Mad God only felt like it was 5 hours long.
I was going to say, I don't think I ever stopped. No, Mad God is an hour and 23 minutes.
Oh, it felt like 7.
Bad.
So, yeah, never mind.
How long is The Point? Hour 14.
This is the
69.
shortest.
That was 70. This might be it. Yeah, because again, it's not
direct
really
to
a movie.
It's direct to VHS.
Well,
but,
it's strung together as a movie.
And you might go, oh, so they put out this low rent movie out on VHS. What a disaster! They had to be kicking themselves for that. Yeah, they were kicking themselves all the way to the bank because it was a $5 million budget.
It was a new Aladdin movie.
$300 million in home video sales, which was just insane at the time.
Yeah.
Which
and the box
probably
art was awesome looking.
In fairness, that is its total sales. Like it's, whenever they stopped tracking it, I'm sure it still sells stuff here and there. But when they stopped tracking it, which I assume was after probably a DVD release, but still.
And here's the crazy part. Critical reception, 33% critical rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a 4.3 out of 10. Cinema score of C-. Now that's, none of this is crazy. We'll get to it. On an A to F scale. And believe it or not, this shocked me. I saw this before you put it in there. Siskel and Ebert both gave it 2 thumbs up on their TV show. David Mussayer of RealFilm.com, however, said that the film was, quote, a thoroughly needless sequel that may keep small children engaged, but is bound to come off as nothing less than a huge disappointment for fans of the original. Okay, really quick. Before we get into the film, the Siskel and Ebert review shocks me. These are the same guys that gave... What movie was it? They said there was one extra character that was it...
Die Hard. They were mad. Well,
they were
Ebert
mad at Die Hard.
Specifically was mad as hell at the police captain in Die Hard about how he was an unrealistic character. He gave the movie only 1 thumb up because of how much he hated that character.
That's so what they're saying is that this film is better than Die Hard.
Apparently. That blew my mind. Now again, this is not a printed review. This is not something that they put
on their TV show,
their paper reviews. Yeah. It was on their TV show. And I do recall more than once we have mentioned that they would later on talk about their reviews and be like, upon further review, there have been times that they've walked it back and said, maybe this wasn't as good as it should, or as we thought it was, or maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought it was. I have to imagine that, an upon further review of this movie might have exposed a couple of flaws.
And again, maybe if we had reviewed this when it came out, we would feel different about it than today, being so many years.
I loved this movie when I was a kid.
I never watched it until now.
Oh, I hated it when I was a kid, too.
I loved it. Well, okay, we've talked about this, and I don't want to derail us for too long here, but Aladdin was the animated movie when I was a kid, as far as I was concerned. I didn't give a shit about most of the other stuff that Disney was doing, where everybody liked The Lion King. I was still hung up on Aladdin even by the time that came out. Aladdin was my movie. So any opportunity to get more Aladdin couldn't be seen as a bad thing. It couldn't be that fucking bad. And not to tip my hand too much later, it really isn't that fucking bad. Like, it's not great, but it could be a hell of a lot worse.
So I'm such a weird guy when it comes to Disney, because Lindsay is like the Disney princess, obviously. We all know this. She's the huge Disney fan. She's got, Hunter, can you do an impression of the bottom of that person's face?
It's like
we'll get you. Oh man, they're all just out of whack today.
Oh, he got it. He did it. He got it.
Yeah, we got the second. We got the half.
We got the half face. I never cared about Disney at all. Like, Disney has never been a thing that I've loved. The only thing,
right? Because it wasn't on the evening news.
It wasn't. It didn't have Brian Williams or Tim Russert on it. Yeah, if they had made a Disney's NBC, maybe I would have watched it. But I loved Disney TV shows. Like, I didn't watch I saw Aladdin when I was younger, but I didn't really care for it. But I loved the animated series. I loved the Hercules animated series. I loved Goof Troop. I loved Darkwing Duck. I loved obviously Chip and Dale and Ducklings or whatever they were called. DuckTales. I loved all that shit, but I didn't care about the movies. Like, they just never spoke to me. So this is a weird film for me because this feels like the TV show because it is. And at the same time, I'm trying to review it as a film and compare it to the original movie. So this is a strange one. Yep. Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way real quick. I want to do the plot, the basic plot, because, people go, well, what's this movie about, though? Well, why are you listening to this review if you haven't seen it? The basic point of the movie is that there's a stupid criminal named Abysmal, who accidentally kind of half releases Jafar and then fully releases Jafar. I don't like this terminology. Meanwhile, Iago.
I didn't write this for the record. He's coming up with this.
I'm free balling here. Iago befriends Aladdin.
Free balling and fully releasing.
Let me get through this. He befriends Aladdin in his group and ends up saving Aladdin's life. So Aladdin kind of takes him in and tries to convince everybody that he's good, while Jafar hatches a plan to basically take back control using Abysmal, and it's a fight of good versus evil. That's the basics of it. That's literally
for
it.
the record,
really.
Up to that point, I don't hate the movie. And I don't even hate the concept.
Yeah.
Looking back at it now, I really wish that the second Aladdin adventure had not immediately gone to Jafar.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. When we drafted Disney villains, Jafar was my number one draft pick, and I threatened to slit throats of anybody who took him before me, like Jafar himself would.
That's too quick.
He's the only Disney villain I really care that much about. Like, he's the one that I like as part of the reason I like that movie so much. But the end of the movie, the original movie, does such a good job of making it seem like, well, we're never going to see that guy again. And if you do, it should be a couple movies or a couple stories down the line. He's the big boss at the end of the first season of the TV show, or the series finale, or like you said, or the third movie. Yeah, a couple of them. When this movie doesn't really give us a clear-cut amount of time between when the last one ended and when this one started. So it feels like it could have been like, the last movie ended on a Saturday and now it's like Wednesday.
I can only imagine.
He's back.
That's exactly what it is, because like in the
that's
film,
what it feels like.
There's Aladdin is still trying to win over the Sultan. You know what I mean? Like they're treating it like Aladdin just kind of became, so I guess maybe like a week or two.
Right.
At least even Star Wars had the good decency to wait until the final film to bring back Palpatine, and he returned somehow. It's stupid, but at least they waited a little bit. So with that basically out of the way, here's the one thing I took away from this movie is that, and it's a two-part thing, so give me a second. One is that Gilbert Gottfried should have been given every award possible for making this film enjoyable. Because even though a lot of the film,
all-star.
A lot of the film isn't bad. I actually agree with Hunter, and I'm not trying to tip my hand either. But none of it was particularly interesting, except for Iago. Iago was the thing you hang your hat on. Yeah, he's the best part of this movie.
I mean, I can't have this conversation enough. Protagonist and antagonist are not the same thing as hero and villain or good guy and bad guy. Right. Protagonists are the focal point of the story. Antagonists are the conflicting point. They're the reason that the protagonist is doing stuff. Jafar, still very much the antagonist, but Iago is the protagonist in this movie. Aladdin really doesn't do anything new in this movie that he didn't do in the one before.
He has no arc.
He steals from the poor or from the rich. He gives to the poor. So he starts out as Robin Hood. He, basically still can't get in, like we said, in the good graces of the Sultan. The Sultan wants him to live a life he doesn't want to live. He's lying to Jasmine. It's just a speed run of the plot of the original, but done worse.
Right.
Same goes for most of the other characters in a lot of ways. Genie, at the very least, is not trying to get free anymore, but his arc is imitable at best. Like, I mean, it's not really interesting.
A lot of question about genie powers I'm going to bring up here in a little bit.
But Iago has the real story, right? Iago gets out. He realizes he's essentially in an abusive relationship and is like, I don't want to do this anymore. So he flies off back into town. He's going to use his talents to get back into somebody's good graces. I'll make it look like I need some help, and I'll use what works for me and do that. And then he inadvertently, not really inadvertently, but he kind of slips up basically and actually does a good thing. And it's like, all right, well, I'll take advantage of that. Then he's forced into a situation where he has to go back to his old friends, and he doesn't want to, and he doesn't want to be under Jafar's thumb. And when push comes to shove, he saves the day. That sounds like a fucking hero to me.
That's the best story. That might be the best story in the Aladdin franchise. Like, Iago is the most complex, interesting character, I feel like. No, I really do. I do.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that he gets a good story here, but...
Well, what I mean by that is when you boil it down. So in the first movie, Aladdin has no internal conflict really, other than the fact that he's poor and wants to be rich, and he wants to be seen as equal, but they're all good. All the good guys are always good, and all the bad guys are always bad. Iago is the only character in the Aladdin series that I know of, and I haven't seen all of it, so maybe I'm wrong, that starts as a bad guy, but has a redemption arc. Like, he has the most fulfilling arc as a character, I feel like.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Redemption arc is a strong angle. It's really just, I mean, Jafar is right when he says that Iago aligns himself with whoever is most powerful at that time. There's just a moment in this particular story where he recognizes, like, I do owe this guy one. But from then on, it just goes right back to, okay, well, this seems to befit me, if I can pal around with these people and then enjoy myself. So,
well, except the end. Except the end, I feel like, because even though Jafar is winning, he makes the active decision to fuck him over and save the good guys. You know, at his own sacrifice, at his own health.
Right, but
it's a
from
very
that
Vader
point
moment.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I think that's overselling it. I don't think it's bad or anything. Don't get me wrong.
I love Iago. Iago's always been my favorite character from Aladdin. Like, I can't even lie. Even before this film, I said this. I went on record as saying the only thing I absolutely hated about the live action remake was that they changed Iago so much. Like, I get Alan Tudyk did the voice. He was just a parrot. He was just a parrot. Yep. But here's the other part of that. The other side of that coin is that whoever decided to make Iago such a main focus, give him a raise. It was a great decision. Whoever decided to give Gilbert Gottfried so much singing,
like 3 songs,
any at all, really, frankly,
horrible.
Any songs?
Why?
Look, I love Gilbert Gottfried, but why is he singing?
It's bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's really,
and yet that's
really
the most
bad.
memorable music from it, other than like the remake of Arabian Nights.
No, I didn't like that either.
Well, it's not even really a remake. It's just using the original lyrics that they didn't get to use in the first one.
And then Genie's song, like, you could just hear them trying to go into Friend Like Me, but they can't, so they make it as close as possible.
Throughout the entire thing, there's notes of all of the other music. Like, you'll hear it, like, spliced in here and there.
Which is fine. That's called a motif. That's what you do with that. You're supposed to call back to those characters. But then when you have actual, it's one thing when they are in, when a motif shows up in the score, that's one thing to remind us of this moment from the original. Because there's a whole bunch of One Jump, or whatever the name of that song is, the One Jump.
It's One Jump.
That whole thing from the original. There's a bunch of that anytime that Aladdin is in a fight sequence. Of course there is. You want to remind us of what it was like in the original movie. It's another thing to use the same melodies and themes and motifs in the actual music, in the actual songs, in the actual soundtrack, and not the score.
Right.
That's when it's like, look, we're overselling, or not over. No, I've already said that. That's not what I mean. We're over relying on what happened in the previous movie. Yeah.
They don't have a lot of new things to say musically. The music is as bad as the animation, and we'll talk about the animation in a second. But I really cannot stress how bad the music is in this, because even though, you know, I'm not going to once again go back to the well on live action versus animated. Either one, the music of the first Aladdin, and I'm specifically talking about the animated one, is so iconic that it's baffling to me how far they missed on this one. Like, they closed their eyes when this pitch came. Well, like, I don't get this at all.
I think I do get it, and I could be wrong, but again, we how many times can we say it? This is not really a movie. It's a mashed up series of episodes of a TV show that were never meant to have songs that connected everything. So you take these episodes, you insert a couple of musical numbers, which you don't get on the day-to-day TV show or whatever it was, weekly. You don't get that in there, and then you try to use it as connective tissue. We use that phrase being held together by tape and chewing gum all the time, and that's what this is. The music is the chewing gum, and it's been chewed until there's no flavor left.
I would have preferred it had they not done the music at all. Like, literally, when Iago started to sing, I thought to myself, oh, right, Aladdin is a musical, I forgot. And I was like, well, it can't be that bad, right? And then it was. But
lyrically it's bad.
It's so basic.
Audibly, it's bad.
Lyrically,
none of it is.
It's like
it's not memorable in any way, and that's what I love about Disney is the music.
The lyrics are so basic. And I think
this is why it originally disappointed me when the first time I watched it as a kid. I'm like, I don't like any of these songs.
I don't think any of them bother me more than... So, look, Gilbert Gottfried should not be singing anywhere near this much. The lame attempt at trying to do Friend Like Me again... Yeah, he definitely would. The lame attempt at trying to do Friend Like Me 2.0, which turns out to be Friend Like Me 0.5, is no good. The love song sucks. It's not interesting at all. Nobody really believes 30 minutes into this movie after the original epic that Jasmine and Aladdin are done. It's not going to happen.
What about the Pussy Hand song? Where they take,
you mean Panther Hands?
When Jafar goes from being the most menacing villain in the story to
you beat me to it.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's maybe the no. It's fine. It's maybe the worst song of any of these. It's the one I hate the most. I'll tell you that much. Jafar having a genie song makes no fucking sense. It completely takes away from who Jafar is as a character, especially as the genie, as after he gets these powers. Look, Genie having a genie song in the first movie makes total sense. He's going to explain all the cool shit he can do, And then he's going to be very precocious about it. Okay, but here's the things I can do. Here's how it works. You're introduced to this stuff for the first time. Jafar's whole song, while it does play on his whole motive of I'm better than you, and instead of it being about Aladdin, it's about the genie this time. I'm just a better genie than you. But it's him doing like genie tricks, which is not really a thing that he does. All of his stuff is meant to be like really scary. And the closest the song gets to that is when he says, "Granny's gonna get you," and appears to be a scary grandmother.
I thought that was a Psycho reference, I think, because the granny in the chair
and
really striking for those kids watching this movie.
Right?
Yeah.
The references, look, I get that Robin Williams made a bunch of references in the original that there weren't kids that got either, right? He literally references Das Boot, so I can't be too mad about some of that shit. However, that's Robin Williams. He gets to do that. I love Jafar and I love Jonathan Freeman, but it does not make sense at all.
I would like to question the rules of a genie, because one, he sings a song about how the other genie is second rate and he's a better genie. Yes. He's been a better genie for about 10 minutes. And Genie was Genie for thousands of years. So how this motherfucker knows how to do more stuff than Genie? And also the bullshit he can't kill rule. You pointed this out.
Yeah, that's the part that bothers me more. So I'll give him a pass on the first part, because I think that's just classic Jafar narcissism. It's just, I'm better than you in every way. I've not been doing this for very long, and I'm better than you.
Before you get to your point, because I know you've got the point to make, I want to point this out real quick before I forget about it. I agree with you, except for the fact that Jafar then does so many things that I told Lindsay, why didn't Genie just do this in the first movie? If Jafar was so bad, why didn't Genie just lock him up? Genies apparently have the power to, like, put their enemies in little bowls and shit.
Well, because he's evil. He's evil.
But he's bound by the rules.
He bends the rules because he is chaotic evil.
I'm going to go along with that a little bit. I may be willing more than most to give this a pass. And I think that's really what it is that Genie doesn't like to bend the rules, and Jafar will bend them as far as he can. Because again, we don't actually know what governs this. Genie says he can't do all of this shit, but what's stopping him? Right. So this goes right into what I was talking about, and what you brought up in the first place. What really are the what are the rules? Because numerous times we're told, especially in this movie, genies can't kill. Now, Genie tells us that in the first movie too, and really we never revisited all that much, other than
although his is I can't kill anybody. I don't like doing it.
Well, no, he doesn't bring anybody from the dead because he doesn't like doing it. Yeah. Yes, he says he can't kill anybody. That's a non-starter. Then he says, I can't bring people back from the dead. It's not pretty. I don't like doing it, which kind of implies that maybe he can, but he doesn't want to. Yes. Jafar, on the other hand, again, we go through. I do love that there is a little running line through this movie of, yes, he can't kill, but you'd be surprised what you could live through, because 3 different characters.
It's a good callback, yeah.
It's a fun little bit. But the number of times, it kind of feels like the we've talked about this before, the Batman or the Spider-Man thing. They don't kill, but they will beat you unconscious and within an inch of your life. Yeah. And then they will assume that you will get better in the hospital. Is that how the rules work here? Because these are cosmic forces. Numerous times Jafar does things that put people in mortal danger that should have killed them. So is he actually incapable of killing? Or is it that no matter what he does, they're not going to die when he does it? If that's the case, why is anyone ever worried about whether or not he's going to kill them? Can he get around it by indirectly? I just, not remembering what happened in this movie. I thought it was he was going to use Abis Mal to kill Aladdin. And if Abis Mal does it, it doesn't matter. And then I'll give you your wish. To me, that's a much simpler plot. It makes a hell of a lot more sense. I'm going to empower you to kill him, and then we're good.
I think it boils down to what you said. If someone's crossing a bridge and Jafar destroys the bridge and they fall to their death, he didn't kill them. He only destroyed the bridge. If he specifically shocked them to death with lightning bolts, he'd be killing them. It's a bullshit, like, kind of clause, but
the real answer is it's whatever the story needs.
It's what the story needs.
Right. But the one time that really bothered me is when he's going over the waterfall. And Jafar saves him, and Abis Mal hates it. And he says there are things far worse than death. Oh, I'm going to make it look like he killed the Sultan, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Nobody.
I found his hat.
They very quickly turn. Yeah, and that's all there is. And then the guards are going to kill him. Okay, well they're going to kill him indirectly, so that's maybe Jafar's way of getting around it. Even though he's pretending to be Jasmine and he's the one who orders the execution, so didn't he actually kill him anyway? I wish in that moment Jafar had said something about, I can't kill him directly. You know this. But there are things worse than death. He never references that he can't do it. If he had said that, I would have at least been like, all right, so there's some continuous internal logic. I can't cause him to fall down this waterfall and die. But if I can take it out of my hands and someone else kills him, then it didn't have anything to do with me. If I can convince them to do it. Yeah. Exactly. Now, here's the thing that bothers me the most about all of this, and it's not really about it's just about genieing in general. And I know you're probably thinking, well, Genie still has his powers. That's fucking stupid because he was freed. Look, I don't want to tell you about that. All right, you just have to accept that from the end of the first movie when he doesn't stop being blue and he's able to still do his magical shit. Like, I guess you get to be a demigod. I don't know.
That's where the live action is better.
No, disagree.
Because he turns into a normal human at the end. He's free, so he's just a man.
Yeah, but then it's Will Smith, and I got to look at him.
Well, nowadays, it's AI anyway.
Oh yeah, just like those trash bags came out of the White House. Not this show. So here's the part that bothered me the most, and I don't remember ever remembering this as a kid. Genie says, here's how we stop Jafar. We destroy his lamp. Because if you destroy a genie's lamp, you destroy the genie. Well, that would have been really good to know about 3 days ago when you flicked that motherfucker into the desert instead of dropping it in a pool of lava and ending Jafar forever. And I get it. Genie doesn't want to do the but he's no longer bound by the rules at that point.
Hand it to Abu. Abu would do it. Abu would do it for
it wouldn't even matter. Again, he's free of it. Even if you don't want to do it, just go, here's his lamp. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. Just make sure it ends up in that pool of lava over there.
Well, I have other questions to go along with that. Genie has showed throughout the film his ability to like teleport and fly and shit like that. So why, when they're trying to grab the lamp, does he do the thing where his little arm stretches out to grab it? Why not just like teleport over, grab it, and teleport away? And at the end, when Aladdin
that's just again because they needed him to not do that for the plot. They wanted you to see him do the thing in the hand and
the very end, when Aladdin is in the Cave of Wonders again, I assume, and he's about to burn to death. Genie just sits his blue ass up there watching, going, "Oh no!" waiting for Aladdin to jump out of the pit when he could have just ran down there and grabbed him and saved him and pulled him up.
After he already did it once when he was almost going to get his head cut off.
Like, just do it again.
He's only got so many of those in him each day.
I hate the genie.
I like it. It's like D&D. I like to think that he has, now that he's not a genie where he has unlimited, he has spell slots. He's only got so many spell slots per day, and he can only do he can only do Featherfall like a couple times a day, okay?
This is the problem when you have characters that are so popular, or so powerful, I'm sorry. Comic books have the same problem. There's a reason that whenever they introduce Quicksilver to the X-Men universe, not in the MCU version, but the X-Men version, they took him out of the story immediately, in one way or the other, because they knew having a character that could run faster than whatever, it destroys any danger that you could be.
It looks very cool.
Yeah.
And it's helpful for one film. Well, I mean, the MCU did it too, right? They kill them off almost immediately.
They did him in
to be done with them.
Yeah, because you can't have all powerful characters like that running around and there's no danger because they're all powerful. If Genie did half the shit Jafar did in this movie in the first film, there would be no sequel with Jafar. Jafar would be dead very, very quickly, very easily, but you have to have it for the storyline purposes. So like, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. And speaking of getting it, Lindsay, before we get to the reviews, talk to us a little bit about, because you're an animation major. Talk to us about the animation in this film.
I have a degree in animation.
What did I say?
A major implies she hasn't
finished. You're making it sound like I'm still in school.
Well, Lindsay, in a lot of ways, all of us are still learning.
I get this thing had a different budget. It was meant for TV. They have a much smaller budget. But my God, the animation in this is hideous. Jasmine makes so many goofy ass faces.
Her eyes
in
are
a
so
good
wonky.
movie, you can pause a film anywhere and the picture will be gorgeous. I'm pretty sure you could pause this movie anywhere and you're gonna have some moment images.
Everyone looks like Moses when he takes a photo.
I wish I'd saved an image or like a screenshot of it. There's a moment after that opening sequence when Aladdin's flying away on the carpet, where he's flying over the desert, and for whatever reason, there's like a 2 or 3 second cut to him and then back to him flying away, and it's just his fucking face going like,
Yes.
Like, it's so dumb. He looks so
it's so
stupid.
bad.
And I'm like, what is the
It's
point
so
of
bad.
this?
And Shannon, you brought up a good point while we were watching it. They don't know how to pause.
They
there
all
are no
move around too
pauses.
much.
Something has to move at all times.
It
in
looks
this.
so fake. They're trying to make it look fake.
And
it's
yet
not
the mouths.
good.
There's so many times that mouths just straight up don't move when characters talk.
Or Jasmine looked like she had a lazy eye at one point.
Yes.
The one eye was moving and the other one was like 3 seconds behind it.
I think my favorite one was when she runs out after accusing Aladdin of lying.
Oh, that terrible little
run animation is so bad. They might as well have done the King of the Hill thing where they just have the cell move up and down as it goes across the screen.
Oh my gosh. It was so bad.
I know this we're on the animation, but something I also forgot about, the introduction sequence doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So Aladdin, who at the end of the previous movie married Jasmine, they're married now, I guess, unless that hasn't happened yet, or it's going to happen.
At the end of the first one.
Okay. But he chooses to stay dressed the way he does. That's fine. It's implied that he lives in the palace, which is that makes sense. He should. So what does he do? Right, during the day? So he finds out where these. I mean, he becomes Robin Hood, right? He finds out where these guys are going to go find treasure. Then he steals it from them because they're not really thieves; they're just treasure hunters. They found this stuff somewhere out in the desert. Yeah. He steals it from them, and then he just distributes it to people in the streets. Well, are these guys not also like? Look, obviously they're cutthroats. I guess there's that. You know, they're
abysmal.
Implied to be thieves. Yeah, but I don't understand why the people in the street deserve more than them. I guess because they have kids.
And also, why can't he just give it to them rather than dropping it on their heads from God knows how far above in the sky?
Yeah. The fact that scepter landed in that guy's bowl is
and not in his cranium.
It's fucking Mighty Ducks. Quarter inch to the left. Quarter inch to the left.
How does the Sultan feel about Aladdin just giving all these random people riches?
The Sultan doesn't care because
Sultan
he's a moron in the first one. He's a moron
idiot.
now.
Yeah, he just goes wee horsey rides when he's on the carpet. That's his entire plot.
Also, when he got on the carpet, he was so surprised about what it could do. Oh, you mean like the last time you did that in the first movie?
All right, enough chit chat. Let's get to the reviews. All right, on this show, as we all know, we follow a 5-point system inspired by the greats. It's 2 thumbs up means you love it, 1 up you like it, 1 up, 1 down you're indifferent, neutral. It has different meanings. 1 down you dislike it, 2 down you hate it. Very few films have made it across the double down list. I think the most infamous one still, and it's the one that I think people question about today still, is Dog Soldiers. Because it is still highly regarded as like this classic werewolf film, and we all loved it, and we just didn't see it when we re-reviewed it. We all hated it. So maybe we need to re-review Dog Soldiers. I don't know. Point is, the last time we did Double Down is still in March when we did Mario Brothers 1993.
That far back.
I have a feeling that this month we'll at least see 1 Double Down across the list. I have faith. But let's see where tonight lands. Lizzie, we're going to start with you.
Okay. Well, again, I originally watched this film when it first came out. My best friend Amanda had it like within the week that it came out, and we watched it at her house. She absolutely loved it and was excited for me to see it. And I remember being bored and disappointed during the whole thing. I watched it again in 2019 because whenever Disney Plus launched, I told myself I was going to watch all the animated Disney movies in release order. And when I got to Return of the Jafar, I had to decide, am I doing the video movies or just actual movies? And I decided to torture myself with the video movies. I'm pretty sure my second viewing, I fell asleep during it and didn't completely watch it. And midway through today, I was falling asleep again. I am giving this movie 2 thumbs down. I don't like it. Iago is the only saving grace in this film. The animation is painful. The music is boring. And I guarantee you, if someone asked me next week, hey, tell me about this film, I'm not going to remember half of it to tell them what it is.
Ouch. Off to a hot start. 2 thumbs down immediately. Now that you had a few seconds to think about it, do you want to change that? Or are you going to stick with it? She's not paying attention. Okay.
Nope. She checked out.
She may not be listening to the show anymore. I don't know.
Shannon, did you mute me? Because I can't hear anything from you guys.
No, I really did not.
No.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I wondered why she wasn't replying.
I was gonna say she just really
kinda
took that one on the
dipped.
chin.
Yeah.
That was.
Nope. No, that ain't good. That's not good at all. I wonder if she muted herself by accident. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
I'd like for her to hear my review, but I guess I could tell her.
All right,
later.
I'd like for her to be here for that.
Yeah, but,
we can stall for a minute, right? Do you remember all the lyrics to the Iago songs? Do you want to go through them?
Yeah, I think it was like, I'm a bird and I'm here to say I'm here to win the day, or something like that.
So just to recap, that was, I'm a bird and I'm here to say I'm gonna win the day.
And then he does a big flourish with his wings and he goes, Iago. Lindsay, you back? Uh-oh.
Well, I was gonna say it's lit up green, but it's not.
I swear to God.
Be good.
I swear to God, I didn't do anything. I haven't messed with anything.
No, why would you? I don't even know what you would have done that would have caused that to be a problem.
My hands are clean on this. I expect her to walk through my door in a second here.
She's gonna come in a minute. We're gonna see what happens. Maybe she'll just sit in with you.
We'll quit stalling here. Let's get to my review.
Yes.
I guess. I don't know what's happening. She's just gone at this point. All right. Well, I think 2 thumbs down is a little harsh. I will say that.
I do too. That's just me.
That's just me as well. Like, I get her frustration. She is a huge Disney fan, and I know all of this means a lot to her. Wait, is she back? You back? She's not back.
Every time she comes back, it's hang on, there we go.
I can change.
So she can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll type in the text.
I mean, I can hear you through the wall. I just can't hear you through my headset.
All right. Well, Hunter's going to type something through the text there. Check your settings. Make sure it didn't switch itself.
It's showing the same stuff. My settings are there.
Did you turn your headset off? Turn it back on?
No, I did not turn it off. I restarted it, and it's still.
Wait, she's hearing you right now.
She hears me through the wall.
Oh.
Turn your headset off. Turn it back on. All right. We're going to pause for just a second. This is gripping content. All right. She's showing me her headset. I don't think she realizes what's going on. If I talk low enough, she can't hear me, and we're safe.
While we're doing this, I found the poster. I don't know if you
content for the viewers.
They love it.
In the general text, I found the poster from that Disney movie that you should have watched when you were a kid.
Oh, you
saw it there.
You got it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Let me see.
Yeah, it was called Newsworthy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see that on the TV they make news.
What the fuck is this?
It's the poster for Newsworthy from the 80s. Remember that movie?
I don't like this. All right. Well, continuing my review, because we can't stall forever, I'm giving it... Oh, boy. I really struggled with this one. I really did, believe it or not. I'm giving it 1 up, 1 down. And that'll probably be the best review that we give this month. and here's why I came to that conclusion. The animation is bad. It's bad, but it's not like terrible. It's
bad.
It's TV bad. It's TV bad. Yeah. The voice acting is hit or miss. The music's terrible. The songs are terrible. But and those are in the negatives. But the plus of it is that I think Gilbert Gottfried does a great job as Iago. Oh, hold on. You back? That's probably a no. Okay. I have no idea what's happening with her. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Let me double check and make sure she's not muted. No, she's not muted. Like,
no,
everything's normal.
She's not muted. It would show on my end if she was muted, and if she had muted her headset, and neither one of those things is true.
Yeah. So I think the music is terrible. There's a lot of bad things, but Gilbert Gottfried does a masterclass in saving this from being just abysmal. Not to try to be too funny, but it's not like the rest of it's horrible. Like, Robin Williams as the genie was iconic. Dan Castellaneta does the best job he does. I don't think he does a bad job. It's fun seeing these characters that we remember from the first film reunited. I agree with you when you said you loved Aladdin and you just wanted more Aladdin. If you like Aladdin, this is a bonus for you. Like, is it perfect? No. But there's a reason everyone says direct-to-video, Disney films are bad. They are, for the most part.
Yeah.
But this wasn't the worst thing I'd ever seen. I really went into this expecting to hate it, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I watched the whole thing, but I've also never seen it. Lindsay's seen it multiple times, so maybe by the third viewing, I'd be very sick of it. But since this was my first viewing, I thought it was perfectly cromulent. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, and there were parts that I thought were charming. Again, Gilbert Gottfried does a great job. I think Scott Winger does a good job as Aladdin, even if the material's not great.
Yeah.
I never cared for Jafar. That's just a personal thing. But, and I think Zach Kirkus said this at one point, but Genie Jafar is genuinely scary looking. Like, I think of all the Disney villains, he's, other than, I hope Lindsay can hear me because I want her to chime in on this.
She can't, she nodded.
Okay. What's his name? Chernabog? What's his name?
Chernabog.
Yeah, he's scary in the same way that I think Jafar Genie is scary. If the animation had been better and more care had been put into this story and this film, I think this could have been a great movie. But as it stands, I think there's enough good in this for me to not give it a thumbs down. But with that said, is this a good film? It is not. Will you enjoy it? Well, it really depends on how much you enjoyed the first Aladdin. If you just want more Aladdin adventures, you might like it. There are charming parts. Gilbert Gottfried does a great job. But overall, the film is very cheap. But you're talking to the guy, me and Bob used to go to Blockbuster on the weekends and find, we were big into Asian cinema at the time. So anything Asian cinema, especially like historical battles and stuff like that, we watched. And a lot of those were cheap looking as hell. So it's not like I hate cheap films. Some of the best films are made on a tiny budget. Blair Witch Project, for example, Paranormal Activity. This is not that movie though, for the record. This is very cheap.
The animation shows real bad.
But if you look past all that, I think at its heart, you at least find a decent story about characters you already love and a character you weren't supposed to like that has a really good turn. Iago's story is good, and I recommend it for Iago's story, if nothing else. But that's really my only big recommendation. Otherwise, it's very middle ground for me. Didn't hate it, didn't love it. There were enough things for me to like to keep it out of the negative, but not enough for me to keep it in the positive. So I am extremely borderline on this. Hunter.
Yeah, it's almost exactly my same review. I'm going to land on one up, one down, and it's the variety of one up, one down, which is there are things I like, there are things I didn't, and they kind of cancel each other out. It's definitely not neutral. I'm not neutral about this movie because I did really like it when I was a kid, and I do really see the flaws in it now, and I think that's maybe where those two things are clashing. I'll kind of do this the way that you did. I agree that the good things almost entirely rest on Gilbert Gottfried's shoulders. I said it when you and I were talking about it separately. He's having a ton of fun.
Yes.
Whether he should be singing or not is kind of irrelevant in this specific discussion. He's having a shit ton of fun in this movie.
Right.
And that makes it worth it.
And he is fun.
And that makes it worth it. Yeah, because that makes that character pop so much, especially when he is the protagonist of the story. He is the character that we're really following. Nobody else has anywhere near an arc that he has in this movie. I do appreciate that outside of Robin Williams, so much of the other cast did return, because even when their material's not great, and even when you have cases where they don't sound exceptionally good, like Jasmine, I mean, really doesn't sound that much like her, probably again because the dialogue's not great. Aladdin is still Aladdin. Scott Wingard is still pulling his weight as that character. Jafar is as good as he has ever been. He's not quite as menacing. He's a little crazier and a little over the top, but that's mostly because he is he's already at his peak power level. Yeah, from the get go. It's the writing. It's the way that it's written. Jason Alexander, I don't think gets enough credit as a really good secondary villain. He's a lot of fun. What
happened to him? Now that I think about it.
What do you mean what happened to him? The character?
Yeah, like I don't remember. I remember.
Oh, I thought you meant Jason Alexander. I was like, well, he did some other TV shows.
The last thing I remember with Jason Alexander's character is they were trying to get the lamp, and then the battle with Jafar happened, and they never mentioned him again. Did I miss something?
So you didn't watch past the credits, did you?
No. Oh God.
When the credits, yeah. There's not much to it, but when the credits are over, there's a quick scene of him basically in like after the wreckage has been kind of taken care of. He's just kind of sat there by himself, and he's like, "So does this mean I'm not getting my third wish?" And then it just ends.
Because I'm sure he pops up in the animated series later.
He does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does.
That's cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so again, he's a fun little sort of low level, shitty at his job kind of villain. He's in wrestling we would call him a chicken shit heel, right? Like he's the guy who's constantly being put upon by the people around him. Yeah, and he's fun. He's funny to watch, and he does a great job with the voice acting for that character. the problems with it, the animation, obvious. We've talked about that at length at this point. If you can accept that it's a TV show, it's fine. But as a feature film, it doesn't feel like a feature film. It certainly doesn't live up to the hype of the original. The story, I don't think we ever described it this way, but I do think it's important to point it out. The story does too much of let's just do the same thing again, right? It's the same kind of Jafar's back, we got to stop him, yes, he's a genie now, but it's all the same kind of stuff. It's he wants revenge on these characters that have slighted him, and the parts of this movie that I do like story-wise are the things that aren't in service of that. It's all the stuff where we're getting something separate, again, where Iago's trying to figure out if he can fit in with the good guys, basically. It's where Jafar is using Abyss Maul as a puppet, basically. That stuff is fun, but by the end we're just kind of rehashing the original, and that's not great. That's what I think. Yes, exactly, and that's what I think the third movie, which I still haven't seen, but what I've gathered about, which does kind of blow my mind that I've never seen it. I know
it's much better.
It takes that concept and goes, let's not do the same movie again. I think that's what this movie should have been. And I think had Return of Jafar been the third one, it might not have been as problematic, and it had some rewrites, and we'll talk about it in a couple minutes.
I agree.
But there's good stuff and there's bad stuff. The music's bad. We talked about that already. I could live without all of these songs. None of them are catchy. I don't care to ever hear them again. It's not even just Gilbert Gottfried singing. It's just the lyrics are lame. The songs are lame. They're just not interesting.
There's no energy. They're all very
there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Nothing there.
Yeah.
No.
It's flat.
Again, they feel like afterthoughts. They're attached to a TV show. So, and honestly, one last little good that we haven't talked about, the movie's 69 minutes long.
Yes.
It's not, you're not going to be there all day. Right. You got that going for you. It doesn't feel long. It never feels like it overstays its welcome.
Feels like a TV movie.
It's just some, it's a TV, because that's what it is.
It's just go, go, go.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. So it's never going to be as good as the original. Is it bad? In some ways, yes. Does it have some redeeming qualities? In some ways, yes. And like you said earlier, I think this movie completely hinges on what you think about the original. If this is the first thing you ever see of Aladdin, you're going to be very confused. There's a lot of work being done by the previous movie in this series.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do I recommend it? Only if you have never seen it and you're a fan of Aladdin. That's it. There's no other reason to watch this movie.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
If you like the original and you want to know what they did after that, then or if you're going to watch the TV series for some reason, this is how it starts. Yeah. That's kind of it.
100% agree. Lindsay, now that you had some time to think about it, you want to change your review?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
The animation is bad. The music is bad. I don't like it. It's
just
too
be careful.
I'm sorry.
Be careful. This is what you asked her when the audio went out last time.
True.
Because you didn't respond, and we just thought you were mad at us.
Yes.
So.
No, I don't know what it did. Literally, my audio went out completely, and I could just hear him through the wall, and I could kind of lip read what you were saying, and that was about it.
That's why we call her Miss Lippen Reader. Anyway. All right.
United divided.
Don't you just hate that song? Ending. Iago, having a change of heart, returns to the palace amidst a confrontation between Jafar and the heroes and grabs the lamp but is critically injured. You'd be surprised what you can live through. With his remaining strength, Iago kicks the lamp into the lava pool, destroying Jafar once and for all. Is that true? Or does he stay dead after this?
I think he's
pretty
dead.
Sure.
All right.
I don't remember him coming back in the show at all.
With his death, Jafar's magic is undone, restoring the palace gardens and the carpet. Iago is forgiven for his role in the situation, being allowed back into the palace, and Aladdin ultimately rejects the Sultan's offer to become his vizier, having decided he wants to see the world with Jasmine instead. Which, hurrah!
Look, we didn't talk about it then, but in the ending of the previous movie, the Sultan says, "We'll just marry whoever you want. Just marry him. You want it to be him? I pick him. Great, we're good." Now in this movie, because at one point in time in that movie, they talked about how you'd have to be Sultan one day. Okay, well now you got to be Vizier and you got to work with me. No, I'd rather go see the world. Wasn't Genie's whole song about how seeing the world was boring?
Alone. But he has Jasmine.
It's a scene alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would I like to see the world with the hot ass Jasmine next to me the entire way? Of course I would. No, of course I wouldn't.
She go? No, doesn't she have some kind of royal obligation?
No, why? But no, my thing
she's
is,
just the princess.
Who's gonna cry on that divan in her room?
Why
she's not there?
Why would you want to go?
Will.
Why would you want to go see the world when you can live in luxury in a palace, banging the hottest girl in 50 countries? Why would you ever get out of bed?
I fully understand why they want to travel together. That's fine. That's a honeymoon. That's not your life.
Sure,
Say,
right.
look, I'll be Vizier when I get back in a month. I mean,
well, I guess Genie could just pretend to be her, because apparently genies can also morph into other people and stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can't do except when you need them to do it, and then there's a rule. I don't know. All right. Epilogue. What do you want to see happen to these characters? I don't care. I want to see
They get
Iago.
a TV series and another movie.
I want Iago to become
hang
the
on.
ultimate hero.
hang on just real quick, because this might inform some people's decisions here. So, okay, to be fair, this is the AI overview. They're pulling from other things, so I could be wrong about this. But Jafar does not come back after this movie. Apparently, he is like briefly mentioned in King of Thieves, but he doesn't appear because, of course, he was killed. However, in the Hercules TV series episode,
There's a
Hercules and the
crossover.
Arabian
He's in hell.
Night,
Yeah.
yes, Jafar is resurrected by Hades.
Hades,
Oh.
yes.
But this
Yeah, 'cause
is
that
an
crossover
alternate
was
storyline that is not part of the main continuity. He loses his immortal GD status and is defeated by Aladdin and Hercules as he ends up in the River Styx. So
They also apparently
That's
used
what it
the
I
says.
thought there was something to him coming back from the dead, but I couldn't remember.
apparently they used the part of the plot from this film, at least in Kingdom Hearts. I think 2 for the Agrabah level. Is similar in to the story here, is what I read earlier. I've never played Kingdom Hearts. That's a Dalton question.
Me either.
Yeah, I'm not a Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts fan.
that's I've played through it, and it's been a long time, but I vaguely remember that being the case.
So, Hunter, being the big Aladdin fan, I really have nothing to add to this because I think as an epilogue, there's with a character like Aladdin and his friends, there's so many ways you can go with it. Because you have a genie, you have a princess, you have a thief, an Indiana Jones style character, you have Iago, a talking bird. I mean, my God, the world is endless. So where would you take these characters after the fact?
So I mean, I was talking about this earlier. This should have been the third film, right? I mean, again, I still haven't seen the second one, but because this should have happened at a later point in time, it's tough to say, because what I want is something in between that cements these characters a little stronger before we get the big return of the main villain, and then we vanquish him once and for all, and everyone literally lives happily ever after, you know, other than their weekly adventures. Once a week, somebody comes along and causes problems.
Saturday morning.
Funhouse.
Come back here with my show. Look, Jafar needs to stay dead. All right. And they did do that, to their credit. That needs to be the case. As much as I love that character, let's not rehash him over and over and over and over. I like you said, I love the idea of what kind of did happen, which is you get a fun, colorful cast of characters that get into weekly wacky adventures. And that's sort of what happens. Because I don't know what happens in King of Thieves other than Aladdin's father is involved in some way, I can't say that I don't need any more of these characters, because I don't really know what I'm going to get any more of these characters. But I do think, for me, it's less about what happens next and more about the order of operations and what should have happened. Whatever happens in that movie, I feel like should have happened here.
Agreed.
This should have been the like series ender. This is the end of the trilogy,
Right.
and then you can lead into your weekly TV series, and it's still the same concept.
And honestly, they probably could have flipped King of Thieves and this, like, story-wise, as far as that goes, because that would make more sense going into their wedding from the end of it, and then, Jafar's back to cause trouble and whatnot.
Yeah, so that would make sense why then. So if they get married at the end, and you're not spoiling anything for me, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll watch it at some point. It's fine.
It's good.
If they get married at the end of that movie, then in this movie, rather than just, the Sultan has a big surprise announcement, he wants you to be the vizier, it should be, now that you're my husband, you're part of the royal family, and he wants you to be his vizier. Then there's some real conflict there of like, okay, but like, yes, I wanted to be married, but I don't want to be tied down to a job here. Yeah, but that's part of your obligation. But I want to see the world, and I want you to go with me. Then Aladdin's got a real plot here, and the movie is not just Iago. Even though he's great, this would then feel like an Aladdin movie and not an Iago movie.
This is the problem with big popular productions, whether they be movies or video games, where they bring back the ultimate villain too fast. You know, I know with Palpatine, you can kind of forgive it only because the movies took so long to make the sequels that enough time had passed, you know, but
Also, I mean, Palpatine should never have come back.
He should never come back.
First of all,
I agree.
that specific character should never have come back from the way that he died in the original. But they handled, in the original series, they handled Palpatine great. We don't even really know who he is at all in that original movie. He's vaguely mentioned, and that's it.
He's just Palpatine.
In the second one, we get little shots of him here and there, but Vader's interacting with him. It's very clandestine. It's very, oh, fuck, who is that? And you don't even see him until the third movie, and then he's right there in your face, and he's terrifying because he's a very different character from Jafar, where the Emperor is very quiet and very reserved. Jafar is very bombastic and over the top. Well, but if you're going to bring a character like that back, especially after you end the previous movie with he's gone for 10,000 years, don't make it next Thursday.
Yeah,
you know?
well, I was going to say, with Palpatine, at least you had, when they did the prequels, you had an interest in finding out who the character was. There was an interest there. Who was he before that? I think more so with, to take it to World of Warcraft, which we were playing right before this, Arthas, the Lich King. The Lich King was the ultimate villain in Warcraft, right? Like, he is the bad guy. He's the big bad. Yeah. And they wasted him in the second expansion. So they had the Burning Crusade, which was all about Outland and about the Blood Elves and stuff like that. And then you immediately go to Wrath of the Lich King, which is all about the Lich King. And you killed him in the end. That would be great if that was the end of the story. But you had like 6 more expansions after that, and now you're trying to come up with villains who are as iconic as Arthas, when really...
And it's not hitting.
No, Arthas should have been saved for the last mission. He should be the finale. They blow their load too fast. I know that's a crude term, but it's true.
Well, and as much as I love Abismal as a character, love is a strong term. I really like him here. I like Jason Alexander, and I like the concept of little, wormy guy. Basically, he's a villain counterpart to Aladdin. He's and
they could have introduced Mosenrath, who was a major villain in it.
And there could have been there could have been a character that by the time we got to Jafar's return, who had been built up as this sort of not evil, but like darker counterpart of Aladdin, went through the same stuff, but he never got what he deserved, right? Sure. He's a street rat, and he really is a fucking street rat, and he doesn't share what he gets with other people, and he's angry, and then he is the one who that version of Abismal, who's not comedic. I'm trying to think of the term, but basically he's not just a fodder, basically. Yeah, it's not a joke version of it. You don't do it ironically. A darker version of Aladdin who gets a darker version of the genie on his side would make for a really epic final showdown of Aladdin and his band of merry men, basically, versus this guy who's really using Aladdin's main antagonist against him, and you can even, and you still then have that thing where they play against each other, right?
You can even split it. You can have that story be one of the films, but have Jafar abandon him towards the end, and then have the last film be strictly Jafar. Like, some reason he's the most powerful creature now. There's so many ways you could go. I feel like they really wasted Jafar by bringing him back immediately 2 years later.
Yes. Well, especially if there was ever a plan of there being more of this. Right. I don't know how far out King of Thieves was planned, or the TV series. I mean, obviously this sets up the TV series, so they had to know what was happening. But I get that you want to, Ghostbusters did this to a certain degree. I mean, they had to start things off with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and kind of start with things that people knew once you got into the animated series before you could create oh God, what's his name?
The Boogeyman.
I put Mosenrath in the general text.
And for the record,
he's basically what you're describing.
He's Dark Aladdin. Yeah, he's Dark Aladdin.
And for the record, I want to point out that my one criticism of Ghostbusters Afterlife is that they went back to the well with Gozer instead of introducing another new villain. That's something I liked more about Frozen Empire, is that they introduced what was his name? I forget. It started with a G.
Garaka.
Yeah. Which was an interesting villain that I thought they kind of wasted, but that's a whole other story. You can go back and listen to that. But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up our Aladdin talk. You know? Jasmine is still the number one princess of all time.
It's less of an epilogue this time. This is one of the few times I have to break the rule and say I don't want to talk about what happens after this movie, because technically we know in canon what happens after it. I don't even want to change that. I just want to change the order of what happened, and I think it makes it more interesting.
And I think that makes way more sense. Good Lord. All right. Even though that's the end for us tonight, that's not for the end for us this week or this month. First off, this week, we got an all new After Dark tomorrow, and we've got a special challenge in the top 5, and that is,
oh boy.
So basically it's only one answer, but with 5 little things to go along with it. We are giving our own presentation of our own terrible direct-to-Disney sequel. So basically the assignment was pick a Disney film that you like and then write a sequel for it, basically. And there's a couple things you're going to talk about. Who's in it, what's the song, etc., etc. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's Thursday. And then on Friday, assuming I'm still alive and assuming I'm in the mood, we start Hot Chocobo Nights. And it should be a lot of fun. We got a new PZ85 Pro. We got Repo on Saturday. This should be a good time. But that's not it for this show either, because this is just the start of Fake UTV. All month long, we're talking about terrible sequels, and I can almost guarantee you, I am confident in this, that this is the nicest review you will hear this month. I think so too. I'm going to give you my preliminary judgments now, and we'll see if they change. Hunter, tell me the movies again for this month, and I'm going to tell you how I'd rate them now, having seen them before.
So again, it's Wake Me Up When Sequel September Ends. You just heard our review of Return of Jafar. Next week, our special guest will be Zach Kurgis, because we're forcing him to watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
2 thumbs down.
Yeah, I've also seen it. I also think that's where I'm going. I would love to be surprised and be wrong, but yeah.
Don't think so.
On September 17th, we'll be reviewing with our special guest, the man himself, Tanner Calvert. Oh boy, you talk about forcing someone to watch a movie. We're going to be reviewing Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
2 thumbs down.
This is the only movie this month that I have not seen, so I cannot actually say in advance what I would think about it. Having done research about it, from what I gather, there was a very good movie in here that did not get made. And I think that's going to be what's going to be most upsetting. The director had a really, really good idea, and it did not happen because of studio interference. So, and then finally, and maybe the meanest thing we've ever done on this show, September 24th. Have you
talked to him?
Oh, yeah. So we've talked to both of them. They both know.
Okay.
Yeah.
September 24th.
The gang's getting back together. The PWU gang's getting back together.
It's PWU, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 with Asa Gray and Dalton Anthony. Famously, the last time Asa Gray saw TMNT 3, it broke a small part of him inside. This was one of those movies that someone watched, turned around and said, "Oh God, I did not know this is what it was."
We
like
watched
when I was a kid, I loved this movie.
We watched this at TurtleCon, which Mike Branham did not go
Michael
to.
Branham.
Also, make sure you put. I'm going to say this now.
Doesn't listen to this show.
Make sure this is in the trivia. This film is not called Turtles in Time. It's called Turtles in Time now.
I mean, look, I'll read it now, and I'll read it again at the end of the month. Quote: While some later released DVD cases for the film subtitle it as Turtles in Time, it actually does not have an official subtitle.
Yeah,
that is literally part of the trivia.
Everyone, because they swore it down, it was called Turtles in Time, and I'm like, no, Turtles in Time,
because it came out around the time as the game, right? And in the movie, there's time travel. And
here's the biggest difference you can tell. If you're wondering which one you're watching, if you're enjoying the time you're spending with it, it's the game.
It was okay.
If you want to murder the president, you're watching the movie. That's the
end. The end of the ending. I'm giving stuff away here. The end of the ending that I've written here from TMNT3, and this is from Wikipedia, says Splinter cheers him up by performing an Elvis Presley impression.
That's true.
And the other turtles join in a dance number.
Oh boy, that's the end of the month. Can't wait for that one. That's all month long.
And I haven't liked any of the Turtles movies since we've watched them, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how much I like 3, because I haven't seen it in years.
Okay, I was about to say, boy, if you didn't like the first
the only
one,
movie I haven't, the only movie I haven't seen on this list at all is Blair Witch 2. I've seen TMNT 3, but I was a kid. I have not seen it since the 90s.
Brother, if you didn't like the first movie, there's no way in Hades that this movie's going to win you over. So I can't wait for this. I didn't like that
one, and I hated 2. So.
I can't wait for this. That's all month long of the show. We'll see you for that, and we'll see you tomorrow for After Dark. But until then, the balcony's closed for myself, for Lindsay, for Hunter. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for After Dark. Hunter, take us out.
I'm going to do my best Gilbert Gottfried. Here we go.
You going to sing?
Man. He's good. No, hell no.
All right.
I can, but I don't think I can sing in that voice. All right, here we go. I got sand in places I didn't know I had.